In this video, I will show you how to quickly create a RESTful API using AWS. And as you know that REST architecture is very famous nowadays, and many companies use RESTful API as a backend. So today we will use a serverless architecture to create a RESTful API using Lambda function and also API gateway to expose the API to the world. Now first I go to create a Lambda function. Now I just create a function. I want to create from scratch and I name that is hello world rest. So I can choose any programming language for backend: Node.js, Java, Python, Ruby. Uh, but in this video, I will use Node.js, and I can select the architecture here is x86-64. That's it. And other than that, I just keep as it is. So now just create a function. Now I have a function I can code here. You see that in the code editor. It's just simple API. Event, return the response, hello from Lambda. If I want to test this function, I just quickly go here and test. Click on test. You see the details here. I will receive that. But this Lambda function, like a backend application, is not exposed to the internet. Now, how can I make it as a RESTful API? I go to another service. We call that is a API gateway. A API gateway. Okay, here. Now I will create a new API gateway, which is there are several APIs that API gateway support, like HTTP API, WebSocket API. I choose a REST API for. So now just build this one. This one for private, so just for internal use, but this one for public use. Now I build new API and I name that is a hello world API. So this will expose my simple backend RESTful API to the world. Yeah, now I can create an API. Here you can create a structure API. Here, for example, I create a resources. Hello, greetings, right? And then just create resource. Then after that, I can create a method. I can choose whatever method that HTTP supports. Now I choose get, and I use a Lambda function. I will turn on the Lambda proxy integration. So that means the API gateway will forward the request to Lambda function with the structure event. And I can choose a Lambda function. I just implement it. Hello here. So now after this, other than that, I just keep other settings as it is. Now just create a method. Yeah, now I just need to deploy this one. And I can choose an environment, for example, test environment. Now I need to go to here to deploy my code as well. So here you should, here I need to deploy my code. I tell AWS I'm ready for running my backend. Now from here you see that the stages information will be here, and you see your message here. Just use this API to call your RESTful API. I can, because this is a get method, so I can use browser to load to that hello from lambda function. You definitely can use Postman or any tool to test. For example, I use Thunder client. We should steal your code. This one. So if I use a Thunder client, I can post this here. Yeah, you see. So how easy it is to create a backend RESTful API, simple API using API gateway and Lambda function. That's it.